All right, Mark. So I'm going to finish up on this one. Okay.
Awesome.
So all I want to tell you is that Mayday is an emergency procedure word used internationally as a distress signal in radio communications. So that's exactly what we have here. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. We must oppose this bill. This is the worst bill I have seen in my entire life with respect to telecommunications. You have to understand how bad this is. It's 13,600 words. And you go down just looking at the table of contents. Okay. We got a whole section wiping out local control. It is the wires industry wish list for everything they ever wanted. It's any idea ever percolated by the FCC. Everything that happened over the last 30 years is now wrapped up in a nice, neat little package and might be voted through by our elected representatives, meaning we have no way to get around it, and all of our arguments fail from that point forward once this gets voted in. This is the digital prison right here. This is the bill you cannot let them pass. This is the bill you're not going to be able to get out from under. And we rewrote the cable bill. Look at that. Somebody actually had a whole bunch of work. And it turns out the way these bills work is that people write them in previous years and they kind of try them out and they trot them out and see if they get support. And if they don't go far enough, then they kind of hold on to them and they kind of wait and they do a little negotiation. And so this is the negotiation. They took the entire cable bill from 2021 and they dropped it into this 2023 bill. And so now this is all the extra things the cable industry ever wanted. And they get to change all your franchise agreements that have already been negotiated with your cities. And they get to no longer pay the fees they're paying so they can make more money for themselves. And all this shit goes down because it's what the cable industry wants. This is what the wires industry wants. Oh, and those pesky environmental reviews, the fact that we lost that Ketawa case and we have to do environmental reviews still. Yeah, that's really inconvenient. We don't want that anymore. So we'll have our local representatives federally just to vote it out. So you don't have to do environmental review anymore.
This is turning into the way DC does bills. I mean, it's
This
just they just throw so many different things into it.
No, this is a DC bill, just so you know. This is a federal bill right
Oh,
here.
okay, okay.
Okay, I
That's
jumped
right.
ship.
That's right.
I'm
We just
here on the
transitioned. Okay,
I'm
but
on the federal bill 3557. Okay, so I'm out of the state now, and I'm saying if you look at that state bill, that's like a nice hot candle. This is an industrial strength flamethrower ready to burn up half the country. Okay, this is a big deal. This is going to just decimate local control right here. This bill. This bill cannot pass. Okay. And we got a Republican controlled Congress. And what was interesting is I watched the markup of this bill on May 24th of 2023. And you will see there's about a good half hour of discussion about the bill. And what happens is that for whatever reason, in this part of the play, the Democrats have come to our rescue here, and they are against taking away local control. Even though they're willing to take away all your medical freedom local control for whatever reason, they don't want to take away all of your telecom local control.
it's
So,
maddening. It's
yeah.
maddening.
And
Uh,
I honestly believe that they all want to do crappy stuff. It's just that they decide behind the scenes, you take the arrows on this one, we'll take the arrows on the other one.
yeah,
I think that's how it works. And they have a little fake argument
yeah,
here in
yeah.
front of us
One
all.
guy said, one side, we're going to increase the taxes on the bread. The other, we're going to increase the taxes on the fish,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
everyone's going to fight. You know?
Yeah. So I think that's what's going on here. But look, I'll be honest with you. If you listen to the whole proceeding and you listen to all the Democratic amendments, you'll think, oh my God, these people care about me. I'm going to vote Democrat. Okay. And there they go. And they have this little thing, and it's completely partisan. Every Republican votes it down. They have a majority. Every Democrat votes it up. They miss it by 3 votes. It looks like they're fighting for you, when in reality, it will never work anyway because they don't have the majority. The only thing that saves us here is that if they really have decided to make this a partisan thing, well, you can't go over to the Senate then and have Democrats supporting this. So we have a majority of the Senate razor thin. Maybe they won't pass this bill as a result. I don't know. But you got Manchin there. He flip flops either way. And you got Cinema. She flip flops too. So who knows how it's going to turn out. You got to get involved in this bill. You got to get in touch with your representative. and say, no way should we let this happen.
Oh my goodness! Are you
Okay.
saying that I may actually have a favorable connection here with Catherine Clark?
You might, if she's Democrat.
She is. She
There
is.
you
I've
go.
been
Say, hey, I
very
need you.
disappointed in her role on multiple things. But
I understand, but I mean that's the problem.
sometimes you have to. It's like if you can build a, the olive branch somewhere, maybe.
Lobbying is all about a bunch of people that can't stand each other standing on the same side of the sideline together just to get something done. So you hold your nose, you don't worry that you're standing next to your enemy, as long as you're all standing on the same side of something together. And then after it's all done, you've gotten something accomplished, then you can walk away and carp about anybody you want. But at the time that you're trying to get something done, you don't highlight your differences, you highlight what you agree on. And in this case, I think we need to reach out to all of our Democrats and say, look, we got to take these Republicans out to dinner or get them some extracurricular activity going and make them happy or something, and make sure they don't vote this thing through. Because we do not want this to happen for the country. This is a terrible thing to do to our country. Guess what we have? Oh, we changed the basic little part where we did siting for cell towers. And we had this thing that used to say no state or local government instrumentality may regulate the placement, construction, or modification of cell towers. But now we added the word operation in there. Oh, now you can't regulate the power anymore. See? They just snuck that one in. It's just one word, Mark. How much could one word change a meaning of a bill? It could mean everything. And that's the reason that word was taken out before the 1996 Act was passed to begin with. Oh, well, the wireless industry always wanted it. They lost it in 96. They're going to try to get it here in 2023. We shouldn't let them have it. Only your locals know who would be bothered by that much operation of a cell tower. There would be no other way to know. One size fits all cannot fit a country. It cannot fit even a state. You have to do it locally. And that's how the whole thing was built, was to do it locally. And here's the other one. Oh, not just competitively neutral, technology neutral. Oh, I see. So we can do it wireless anywhere. And the whole point is this. If you just preserve local control, then you can manage that as a locality.
Yeah.
So let the city that wants to be the big 5G with all the wireless everywhere vote it through because that's the will of the people. Good, we'll do that in that
Absolutely.
town. And
Absolutely.
then if the will of the people is otherwise, well, then go with the will of the people and don't do it there. And so just match what the will of the people is. It should be a government of, by, and for the people. And then you have the freedom to move out of the town you don't like and into a town that does serve your values and the kind of town you do like, you see? And so that way, at least you can find places
Agreed.
that are okay. But if you do one size fits all and you ruin it for everybody everywhere, well, that's a terrible thing. Then there's no freedom. Hey, it's time for us to get fiber there. Is that expensive? Well, it turns out it's not. The guy that does it in my neighborhood, he lashes it on the electric wires. It's about $100,000 per mile. You multiply that out by 10,000 miles, which is California's goal here, that's $1 billion. That's 1/6 of our budget. We can do it. Anybody can do it. The wire industry is lying out their butt when they say it's too expensive. What they're saying is it's too expensive to dig a 24 or 36-inch trench and put all the fiber in the trench. That might be true. But who has utility poles in front of their houses? Rural properties. Great. If they're getting electricity, they can get fiber inexpensively on the same lines, the same poles. You're going to wrap it around those same electric lines. It has no effect on the electric lines. And those electric lines have no effect on the fiber optic cables. They're like, little buddies together.
Well, that's awesome, Paul. I'm glad you're doing the work. You're one of the good guys, one of the saints out there, the workers. I say, bless the workers. And again, thanks for bringing a great guest. I love Paul because he brings great content and he does a lot of the work for me, to be quite honest. Stay in touch. And we're going to have you on for E soon enough.
Okay, sounds good, man.
Just
Well,
name
listen,
the date.
I'll tell you how it goes. I mean, we actually may set aside this bill in 2 days, and I didn't even get into how we're doing it, but I'll let it play out first, and I'll bring it back to your audience.
Lots of praise from the audience, by the way. I didn't pass it all on. I wouldn't have time. We would need another 20 minutes, but lots of praise from the audience. They got your
Okay,
back. Thank you, Paul.
cool.
And
All
thank you
right,
to
well,
the audience for
protect
joining.
our communities, that's for sure.
All right, awesome. Thank you, man. And thank you for the audience for joining, everyone. Another great show. Another great show. We will, well, you know where we are. We got a busy month, lots of catch up to do. Appreciate all the support that we have for everyone for keeping the program going. I'm feeling very, very optimistic